Right, well, g'day and welcome back. So last time we had headed up, all the way up, and we're starting to make our way towards the west on the endgame side of the map. And you might recall we had set ourselves up a home base in front of a gold chest, so we could basically spawn in and jump in front of the gold chest. Now, as I said, I didn't really want to sort of cheat too many times on this game, or at all, so I actually haven't. So all I've done is the couple of times that I have logged back in to come in and do some crafting and whatnot, I've picked up a couple of things, and we picked up a couple of different weapons and whatnot in our last playthrough as well. So we'll just do a real quick run through of those. So what we have got now is, instead of the guillotine we previously had, we've now got a legendary guillotine. And if you compare that with something like a Misfortune Mace, for example, you've got a little bit more in terms of power and whatnot as well. Now, the previous screen we had the shield, it had 7 block, and when we were running through our last playthrough, we ended up picking up a shield of light, and we were talking about how we could now craft something that had 17 block, but I told you I didn't want to actually craft anything because we will pick something up eventually, and we have. So there we go, we got that sorted. And another thing that we've now picked up in terms of a longbow, and because I've mentioned I have a ranged build set up for myself, we've now got a wolf snarl longbow, which I picked up in my login this morning. A legendary, very first thing I did, which was great. And another thing that we've now done, and we spoke very briefly about it last time, was we wanted to upgrade from the copper pickaxes, and I was hesitating to upgrade, and now what I've done is I've upgraded to the iron ones, and you'll see they are pretty much double. It's 25 versus 40 in terms of the damage, so that was another thing that has happened very recently. And one last particular thing, I mentioned a few episodes ago I hate this hat. And fortunately, in our playthrough last time, up at the when we set up the gold chest, the very first thing we got was this elder hat, which has a little bit more physical resistance and a lot more magical. Mind you, we don't really care about the physical, the magical, but it looks a lot better. So that'll wrap us up for that. Alright, so now that we've got a hold of a little bit better equipment, and again I mentioned previously that we really didn't want to tackle one particular thing because of the level that we were at, and that is a mission for the alchemist here, and that is to check out the hollow halls. What we're going to do now is take a journey up there and check it out and see what we can see. So we'll head across. Now, in terms of getting there, turn left through Peaceful Acres and head up the hill. So we should be able to just walk on up. Now, the only one change I would conceivably make in my build from here to go through the hollow halls would be possibly to take the guillotine out and change to something with a little bit more blunt, but we'll give it a whirl and see how we go, because I'm not sure if I mentioned or not, but all of the enemies that are in the hollow halls are all skeletons, so they're all bone enemies, so they all require blunt damage to take them down. Now, because of the way that we set up our previous thing, you can see I've still got one altar that I can place. So we'll make a judgment call when we get up here to the hollow halls up here, as to whether we actually set ourselves up a flame shrine up there or not. May possibly be up here that we've got to go. So the ideal way to get here is to sort of head a little bit wider from where we were, from Woodguard. It's a little difficult trying to find your way up here. Alright, so we've got enough arrows. I think what we'll do now is get prepared. And get down to business. So I will not be doing any looting at all in here. It's just going to be all about getting through as quick as I possibly can. One thing I will say with regards to looting, you will gain from these things, and if I can find one very quickly here, the first thing you'll gain there is red marble, which is a new building block which you'll come across. So you'll gain a lot of it. The other thing you'll actually gain from looting here is a anti-freeze, and you'll also gain bone arrows as well. So if you're an archer build, they'll come in extremely handy because we're dealing with enemies that need blunt. But you get the gist. So this is teleporter number 1. Plenty of that potion is around in here. Another thing you will find in here as well is plenty of repair benches also. And you can see already why we've mentioned that the hollow halls are not for the faint of heart and not for somebody who's early in game, because there's a heck of a lot going on in here. There's a lot of enemies and you'll end up getting killed a lot. So our goal in here is to see that door there had 2 little notches on it, similar to the switches that we've dealt with in the past. And what you've got to do is grab these little sort of crystal things and hey, where are you guys going? Come back, come back. Hey, guys, guys, guys. Hey, where are we running to? Where are we running to? What's going on? Now your biggest pain in the butt in here is going to be the dogs. I'll tell you right now, they're an absolute pain in the butt. And you will find the potions that I've spoken about in these chests, more so than you'll find them anywhere else. So before we sort of head off into where we're going to head off into there, we'll just quickly have a look through here. So we came down here, just in front of us. We've got a doorway, and here's one of those chests that I was talking about. And one of the things you'll find you get a lot of in here is bone as well. And I think I might just use blunt attack and impacts for this. So we'll head down where we initially went. Into the halls. And the double jump with blunt damage is a upgrade that I've used in the upgrade tree. This is a fantastic weapon. I'm so happy we got this. I wouldn't say it's the best in game, but it's pretty damn close. Alright, so there's a save point. There's a tiny little bit of easy looting to be done in here. Grab a Wisp of the Light, why not? And grab a food buff. And I'm rushing through this, by the way. There are hidden rooms all through here. There's trapdoors, hidden rooms. There's a whole lot of looting you can do in here, and a whole lot of great stuff you can get a hold of. Those dogs. Worst thing ever. And you'll notice one of the things I picked up there as well. Skull summoning vessel. Those come in incredibly handy as well. We will use one of those at one stage. There we go. There we go, barrier unlocked. So you can head on up there if you want, but we're just going to make our way down here. Okay, and you would have seen up there was one of those little crystals we need, another one up there, and another one down on the ground. So at this stage, our best course of action is to just run around, get all these guys all hustled up, so we can just blunt damage them. Piece of cake. There we go. Alrighty, so not too bad there, and there's another one there, so you'll see on the door there we've got one already, so there was 6 all up. And we'll find if we come over here we've got a grapple point. arrows or a wand are good in this kind of that kind of situation. So that's where our endpoint is. But all we need to do is just jump down there. And double jump and glide there. Now, one other thing you should do while you're in the hollow halls here as well is come on down to the bottom. Into the bone here. And mine yourself some toxic slime because it's free. And it's used for a building block. I have absolute tons of it, so I'm not going to sit here for half an hour and mine it. But you get the general gist. And you'll see there what it does to your energy if you jump into it. Drains it. So we got the one crystal that was down the bottom there. And all we need to do is make our way back upstairs again now. So we've got one to go. And that one that we had to go was the one that was across the ramp from where we came in. Which is piece cake. So the barrier's unlocked there. Alright, and save point, and each of these save points has a repair bench, so if you are running a blunt damage melee weapon, you don't have to worry about running out of charge for your weapon. So what we'll do first is head on down this way. Nothing up high. Oops. Bit of an overcorrection there. Alrighty. And just down the end of this hallway here. Watch out for the dog. Got a silver coffin with a rubbish weapon. And this is a recurring theme, unfortunately, with hollow halls. Any of the weapons that you do get in here, they're all garbage. I think they've partially made it that way because you can reach this section early in game, not necessarily later in game like you can with the other sections. Alright, now we have another save point. Just quickly repair and quickly grab some marble. Now, I've run a bit of a timer on this entire hollow halls. It basically takes double the amount of time if you loot everything. So it's around about sort of an hour. If you're not looting. And if you are looting everything, it's around about 3. And that is absolutely everything. If you're looting absolutely every single little thing. However, looting absolutely every little thing is very well worth it. Most definitely, I will say. This stuff here to mine it's very essential and very important in here as well, so make sure you mine a heap of it, because it's used for building blocks and a lot of crafting with the collector once we've rescued him. A lot of it. And you'll see there's tons of it in here, there's tons of it in different sections upstairs as well. So right. So moving on to the next section here. This is where things are going to get extremely interesting. If you've got skull summoning, use it now. Because you'll see it's skull summoning is doing damage to all of the weapons, all of the enemies that are here. So you've got less overall enemies trying to attack you and less overall enemies trying to kill you. So even the mini bosses that are throwing spells at you. So you'll see there and on the other side there are actually silver chests which unlock in a minute. And those red side bosses there are basically the equivalent of the green side bosses that we've been running into previously, but way worse. And another thing you'll notice, you'll see the little indicators above the head there. That is indicating to us that we need to take those enemies out to actually unlock the door. So you'll see there's only 2 left now, so we've just got to find the other 2. And I will loot from these guys because it's too good not to. Shouldn't add too much extra time to the video. And in each of these as well, sometimes there will be some enemies in here. But what you'll find in here is Hollow Hell's block, which is a new building block. And again, in every single one of these sections, tons of stuff to loot. No guards? Oh, there's one there. We'll just ignore him. Wouldn't be bothered. He'll chase us or he won't. So the other two, and you'll see what's happened here. We've now got a million other enemies. But the amazing thing about using blunt damage in here and having the double jump skill is you can just corral everybody and just double jump, smash and kill 10 enemies at the same time. And the one downside that I've unfortunately had with not looting is that I haven't actually found any of that potion to stop getting frozen. So these guys are still managing to freeze me. Just a bit of a bugger, but that's fine. And the other two silver chests probably will have people guarding them also. And there we go, some more free block. So now that that barrier is unlocked, we can actually just, if we want to, just choose to ignore everybody else that's in here and just make our way through to the next section if we want. And kind of do a little bit more looting if you choose to do so, but it's not really necessary. You can just make your way through to the next bit. And there we go. There's our survivor. Rescued. And you've got one more little bit of loot in here. Silver coffin. And again, garbage loot. And there's your last teleport. And that's it. Job done.